check it out. Look what came today. It's the new hammock from REI. The REI Flash Air Hammock System. It's all in one little thing. I'm gonna run over to the park and we're gonna set this thing up and learn everything there is to know about the REI Flash Air Hammock. So we are heading to Green Valley Park. Okay, we made it. Let's get this thing set up. All right. So let's talk about the REI Flash Air Hammock. So let's start with the weight. Comes in a little bit over 2 pounds. It's pretty small, compact. A little package, comes with a stuff sack. Let's open it up and see what we got inside. There are 4 stakes, similar to the REI bridge hammock, and then you've got this mass here. Inside here you've got your suspension. You've got a tarp. You have the hammock body itself. And then you have this here. This is the bridge, this part here. Oh, it's really small. This is the part that goes over your head, like this when you're sleeping. Setup is fairly simple once you find the right trees. The first time I tried to set this up, one of the trees that I was using was just too wide for the straps. So that's strike one. The strap isn't long enough to go around, you know, I don't know, it's pretty thick, modestly sized tree. So after I found 2 trees that would accommodate the straps, then I was able to set up really simple. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take this webbing here, go around the tree, and then if my arm's the tree, it'll hold like that. This is, looks like, man, I don't even know if that's 1 inch. Looks like 3/4 inch webbing. Let's give it a try. That's what that looks like. Comes down into this kind of a whoopee, and it tells you pull to release, and that comes down into a kind of like a carabiner of some sort. The suspension has these, it comes with basically REI's version of whoopee straps. It's a mechanism where you can pull on it and tug on it to either make it longer, make it shorter. It's fairly simple to use, but not as simple as some of the other whoopee straps that are out there. It is kind of fiddly, but once you get it figured out, super simple to use. And then it has these 2 C clamps, or these 2 pieces of what appears to be aluminum hardware in the shape of a C, and you basically connect the 2 together, and that's how you connect the hammock to the suspension. That's how you put them together, and then you do it the same way on this end too. Okay. From there, it's pretty dang simple. It's just a hammock, right? Or is it? I don't know. Let's find out. So the hammock has a bug net, which is cool. It's retractable, and I like that. I like that you can unzip it and just shove it into the foot in. It's got a nice little pocket there where you can stick it, and I think that's super cool. I also like that it zips all the way around, so you could have the zippers on your left shoulder. If you're using an underquilt and you need to pull it up for your left shoulder, you can do that. Or if you want it over on the right shoulder, you can do that as well. So the bug net is cool. It has this clip at the very top, at the head end of the bug net. And when I first saw it, I said, what is this for? And then I realized that's actually the ridge line, and it's structural. Unfortunately, it's made of plastic, and so I'm kind of not real confident in the overall durability or longevity of the clip. But the clip is really important, because if you're laying in the hammock and you go to close up the bug net, if you don't have that clip already pre-installed and put in there, you're not gonna be able to get the bug net on. It's weird, it's strange, but your body weight stretches the hammock such that you will not be able to get the bug net completely closed. So make sure you got that clip at the head end attached perfectly before you get in. Let's talk about the length of the hammock. The length of this thing, when I pull it tight, the length is 9 foot. A 9 foot hammock, it sucks. With 9 foot, you're in like one person backpack tent mode, where you're just like, it's almost basically a floating bivvy is what it is. And I don't like bivvies, that's why I switched to hammocks. So, but anyway, I digress. Let's talk about the 2 ways you can use this hammock. Number 1, you can use it with a pad. This is the X-Ped Down Mat 9. It's a good winter pad, and I'm gonna throw this thing inside and see how it does. This is a pad that I would say is on kind of the bigger side of pads, and so we'll test kind of the outer limits of how much pad the thing can handle. But yeah, so I'm gonna pump this thing up and throw it in. The hammock has these great straps inside of it that will lock down your hammock pad. So instead of having like a double layer hammock to do that, they provided these neat little straps, and they work just fine. However, this is where things get super interesting, because when you have the pad in, you can't lay on a diagonal. You have to lay straight, like you are like you're in a tent. Okay, it feels like a cot. To me, what's amazing about it is with a pad in it, it really feels like a bridge hammock in every way. So it took me a little bit of time to adjust the actual lay of the hammock. I had to bring the foot in way down from where I would traditionally have it. So 4th try, now I have the head end a lot higher than the foot end, so it's actually kind of sloped down. Again, I'm just trying to get that banana shape out. The other way that you can use this hammock is with an underquilt. I had my hammock gear, it's their Econ, it's a 10-degree underquilt, strapped on real easy, and it worked great. You can lay in a diagonal with the underquilt. You get full coverage. If you set the zippers up right over the right shoulder, it's real easy to pull the underquilt up over your shoulder. And REI has these little loops. There's 3 loops on each side of the hammock that you can use to connect your underquilt. So they actually made it very, very convenient for an underquilt in terms of installation and it being able to stay put once you're in it. So it all goes back to the fact that this is a 9 foot hammock. It's 3 feet wide. So technically, yes, you can lay on a diagonal, you can get a flat lay, but it's not like some of the other hammocks out there. It's not like some of the really wide hammocks out there where you just really can just stretch out, get super flat, super comfortable. Okay, let's talk about some of the cool, convenient things about it. You have a kind of a hammock that lies underneath the hammock. It's like this little storage area. Be great for putting your backpack, maybe putting your boots. It's removable, which is cool, so you can either take it or leave it. If you don't want to use it, you might be able to just put it on the floor, use it as a ground cloth. So I thought that was a nice touch. The head end of the hammock has 3 pockets for storage, 1 large one and 2 small ones. I thought that was kind of cool, kind of a nice touch. And then the idea that you can unzip the bug net real easily and stuff that into the foot end of the hammock was also very convenient. I really like the tarp. I liked it on their bridge hammock and I like it on this one. It is the same tarp, same size, everything. It's a good summer tarp in terms of size. It's not gonna protect you from a big storm, but it'll keep the rain and the wind off you. I do love all the hardware that's on there. The fact that it's got the little hook to wrap around the tree. It's got all the straps. It's got everything you need, which is super, super convenient. That's where REI gets it right. Again, is the hardware it's all there and it's all really easy to use. So another good thing that I liked in terms of the bug net is I really liked the little pole that they give you. Okay, so here's the poles this little pole thing. It's very small, very light. So one end has a little like tip on it that has a stopper. The other end is rounded. And so the rounded end goes in first. And then the stopper, check this out, the stopper end here goes into this eye hole thingy, and then you can pull it tight. And that gives it its shape. Let's check it out. So we got it here, and that is it. There's the basic shape of this hammock. All right, so the real question is would I recommend this hammock? Yes and no. I think if you're on a budget and you want to get into hammocking, it's not a bad option. I would recommend it over some of the other ones like the Enos and the Hennessy's for sure. I think it's a better value. You get the hammock, you get the tarp, and you get all the hardware for 200 bucks. And it'll probably be on sale soon. So value-wise, pretty good. I mean, I've spent almost $300 just on a tarp. So to get everything for around $200, I think is a great value. I think if you already own a good sleeping pad, then this could be an option for you too, because it actually is very comfortable to sleep in with a pad. There's no shoulder squeeze, and there's enough headroom that you feel comfortable. I like that the bug net's retractable. Laying in this thing with a pad is an enjoyable experience, okay? Now, beyond that, if you want to use an underquilt, I do not recommend this hammock. If you want to sleep at an angle, I do not recommend this hammock. And if you don't like the color orange, I don't recommend this hammock. But other than that, I think it's worth a shot. The great thing about REI, and some of you guys out there, man, I posted some questions online and said, hey, what are your questions about this hammock? Some of you guys out there hate REI. I was really shocked. I think REI is fantastic. To me, REI is like, it's like Mecca, man. I get to go down there and I take my kids and we walk into the store and we're surrounded by sleeping bags and dehydrated meals and outdoor clothing and bikes and GPS. I love going to REI. So for all you REI haters out there, I'm sorry, but I think REI is cool. I applaud them for taking on this hammock. Because I think it was a good endeavor. A little misguided. I think if they would ask for some input from some people who actually sleep in hammocks, they could get it right. And maybe in the future they will. But I think it's a good attempt. And again, as you guys know, I don't do paid endorsements. I went and bought this thing, and that's also kind of the beauty of REI, right? Is you can buy it, you can try it, and if you don't like it, you can return it and get your money back. So, you know, try doing that with some of the cottage guys. Some will, some won't. It can be tricky. All right, so that is my review of the REI Flash Gathered In Hammock. It's definitely a cool piece of gear that's worth checking out. So I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Feel free to leave comments below. And if you haven't liked or subscribed, you can do that too. We really appreciate it. And we will see you later. Bye.